Tonight on CTV, hear an update on the ASCSU campaigns here at Colorado State, as well as city manager postponements and Ukrainian support are in discussion around Fort Collins.
Plus, an overshadowed sport peeks through the hedges, and hear COVID's impacts on musicians. All that and more on CTV starting now.
Good evening, Rams. I'm Weston Hubbard.
And I'm Natalie Devereaux. Thank you for joining us tonight. Well, Rams, a big topic being discussed around campus and here on CTV has been the upcoming ASCSU elections. In case you may have missed them, the ASCSU campaign thus far, live reporter JJ McKinney joins us live to catch us up. JJ?
How's it going, Rams? I'm right outside the North Ballroom where I just recorded the Speaker of the Senate debate in which 3 candidates think they have what it takes to fill the position. The Speaker of the Senate debate commenced this Tuesday, and all 3 candidates came in with strong ideals and even stronger arguments.
We need a leader who's willing and able to do that.
Senator Ritik Correa, Senator Ethan Welch, and student Nick DeSalvo all ran in hopes of pushing their ideas for better policies as the new Speaker of the Senate after former Speaker Kyle Hill's resignation in February.
Basically want to unify the Senate. I want to make sure that at the end of the day we have a unified voice and there are no politically motivated, politically driven incidents.
With CTV anchor and reporter Ren Rodsworth acting as moderator, all 3 candidates were asked a series of questions about improving ASCSU, the campus, and how they can improve CSU as a whole.
As ASCSU, it represents the student body, and I feel like it hasn't been doing that, so my goal as speaker is to be a space that actually represents the student body.
One major question posed to all 3 candidates was about the toxic work environment in ASCSU and how to fix conditions that are causing members of the Senate to resign.
It's an environment that isn't necessarily welcoming to senators or students. And so I think being an outsider in that regard will help restructure the Senate.
Overall, the debate concluded after nearly 3 hours of intense discussion, with all 3 candidates getting out everything they needed to say.
Senate can work together. It is a space by students for the students. And I need to ensure that every student in this university is a part of the CSU.
ASCSU election voting starts on Monday, April 4th, and will continue until they select a winner Wednesday, April 6th. All right, back to you, Weston.
Thanks, JJ.
I covered ASCSU when I first started at CTV, so it's crazy to see now that there's all this drama going on because it feels like there needs to be a serious change that happens.
I definitely agree, and I'm hoping we'll see that with this upcoming election. I know I'm definitely going to be watching.
Oh, 110%. I'll be on the same page there. So. Being able to see each other's full faces on campus has been exciting and definitely a little weird for some, but there are some faces we're still not seeing. Ever since Colorado State University removed its mask mandate, signage like this is far and few between. Students have been able to show their faces again and have gathered all around campus to see each other without a mask.
I think it's more open and it feels kind of back to normal, and the social aspect has definitely gotten better. I feel like it's not as intimidating to talk to people.
But not everyone is on board with CSU's decision to go maskless. Some students will continue to wear them despite being given the okay to not.
I'll sometimes wear a mask just because I don't know, I kind of get anxious around tons of people, I guess, just because it's such a big change. But I don't know, I guess, yeah, maybe they felt a little influenced by other universities and stuff.
While data shows that we're seeing a rise in case rates and positive percentages for COVID-19 in Larimer County, the county still says that we're in a low community transition levels. This data is important as it was the data Colorado State used when deciding if masks should continue to be worn on campus or not. As the email also said, wearing a mask has become more of a personal choice for those still worried about COVID.
Because if they're worried about their own health, that's just for them, they can just choose to wear it.
Only time will tell if Colorado State University made the right call for masks in the long run.
People's face and interact with them on a more personal level rather than hidden behind a piece of cloth or something.
It's definitely a difficult situation all around, so it's important that the dialogue on the topic keeps flowing as the semester moves on.
Police are investigating a man who called 911 multiple times on Sunday evening. In the first call, he stated there was a man with a gun in the parking lot of South LeMay Avenue Shopping Center. When authorities arrived, the man was pointing a gun at his own head. Police were able to subdue him using a non-lethal foam projectile. The 27-year-old is currently in prison while authorities investigate the motives behind the incident.
A man has been arrested in Fort Collins after being connected to several crimes that took place in 2020. The suspect, whose name has not been released by police yet, is believed to have stolen multiple cars and burglarized several homes during a 4-day crime streak. Fort Collins police were able to recover some of the stolen cars, with each turning up a lot of evidence that led to the arrest. The man is currently facing charges for aggravated motor vehicle theft, burglary, trespassing, and several other charges. Fort Collins police spoke on the incident, grateful that they were able to gather enough evidence to finally properly arrest this man for his crimes several years later.
On Saturday, firefighters extinguished a grass fire northeast of Fort Collins. The fire burned 15 acres and 5 homes were evacuated. Luckily, no one was injured and no houses were damaged. The Northern Front Range is considered abnormally dry this season. It is almost at drought designation status because of the recent windy days and low humidity. Fire conditions have been so bad, northern Colorado residents are currently not allowed to get personal burning permits. To reduce the chances of starting a fire, you can clear out gutters, window screens, and attic vents.
A Booter High School student is having a flag hung up in their honor. Junior Ayeta Konacha recently moved from Mariupol, a coastal city in Ukraine, to Fort Collins. While she has gone on record saying she is grateful for the opportunity to be here in Fort Collins right now, she's also worried about the ongoing conflict in her home country. Booter High School, wanting to show their support for Ayeta, held an event this past Tuesday. There, hundreds gathered in order to show support for the Ukrainian flag being hung up in the hallway of the school. Ayeta and her family felt immediately honored by this event and were very grateful for support from the community during this time. However, others in the community are also doing their part to support Ukraine. Our very own Michelle Ellis will be doing a live broadcast tomorrow on 90.5 FM for KCSU. Tune in there for more information on Ukraine and their ongoing hardships with Russia.
The search for a new city manager for Fort Collins has currently been put on pause. Earlier this month, Jim Thompson, one of the last 6 candidates for city manager, formally dropped out of the race. The remaining 5 candidates were expecting an answer to who would get the position this week. However, following a special executive session earlier this week, the city announced they would be postponing their search by 3 months. Fort Collins Mayor Pro Tem Emily Francis commented on the matter. She expressed her understanding if people were disappointed with the outcome. She then went on to say this was all due to a bigger plan for Fort Collins and how they want to figure out a new vision for the city. Until the time comes to find a new city manager, Kelly DiMartino will continue in the role.
Over the next month, tap water may both look and taste a little different. The city will be conducting the annual flushing of its water system near Mulberry Street. A high-pressure stream of water will be sent down in the local fire hydrants. This is a preventative measure which cleans pipes and removes sediment, but it is not without its effects. Water may appear muddy, but it is still safe to drink and use on plants. However, this discoloration may stain laundry. Low water pressure is commonly reported around areas of the flushing.
While the water in the city is flushed, may now be the perfect time to get outside. As warmer days pop up, Fort Collins residents will soon be able to send their boats down into Horsetooth. The South Bay ramp is set to open this Friday and is available daily from 7 to 7. The reservoir will require vessel inspections before boats enter the water. Ramps may close during times of bad weather, concerns over water levels, and lack of staffing.
I need to find myself a friend with a boat so that way I can go out to Horsetooth and I can just tan and relax and have so much fun, work on me.
Well, you may want some decent weather for that. Lucky for you, Michelle Ellis joins us after the break to update us on all the weather conditions for this weekend. Stay tuned.
Awkward. Do I look familiar? I should. You might remember me from here. Here. Or maybe even here. But an awkward silence can be a great thing. It can actually be a perfect moment to reach out to a friend and ask if they're okay if they seem down. It doesn't matter how you say it.
You all right?
Everything's okay?
All G?
You all right, girl?
Bro,
you cool?
You bugging dog.
Just show you're there for them. Go on, Kelly. Seize the awkward.
Hey, you haven't really been yourself lately. Are you okay?
Find out how you can help a friend with their mental health at seizetheawkward.org.
Good evening, everyone. My name's Michelle Ellis, here to give you the weather forecast for this week. Right now in Fort Collins, we're going to see that it's 56 degrees this evening with partly cloudy conditions, with about a 72% cloud coverage this evening and a very low chance of rain coming down about 4%. And with that, we're also seeing very low winds coming in from the southeast at about 8 miles an hour. And we can feel those winds coming in at anything between 10 to 20 miles an hour. And we are going to be seeing more of that this week. With the seasons changing and the temperatures beginning to get warmer, we're going to be seeing an increase in wind speeds as well. This is due to an air pressure difference between the cooler temperatures of winter coming together with the warmer temperatures of spring. This difference in temperature and air pressure can cause friction between the two fronts, which can cause those cold outbursts of wind that we're feeling, which can make this evening feel even cooler, with winds picking up in Burlington, Lamar, and Colorado Springs and Alamosa as well, with speeds ranging anywhere between 10 and 20 miles an hour, and a potential of snow in Vail and Gunnison and Telluride. Now in Telluride, they're projected to get anywhere between 3 to 5 inches, Vail at about 1 inch, and if you're traveling along the I-70 corridor, that's something to be aware of, that there might be snowy conditions, which can make sleek road conditions. Now, as for the rest of Colorado, we're going to see in the eastern plains, it's going to chill down this evening to about 30 degrees and mid-30s in Sterling, Burlington, and Lamar, as well as in Colorado Springs, Pueblo, Denver, and Fort Collins. Now, as we move into the mountain range, we're going to see that it cools down a bit, mostly into the higher 20s, but it starts to warm up in Grand Junction about 38 degrees. Now, it does warm up tomorrow. We're going to be seeing those temperatures warm up in the eastern plains, getting into the mid-50s, with Lamar warming up into the higher 50s. And we're seeing that in Fort Collins as well as we get down to the low 60s, Denver in the high 50s, and Pueblo in the low 60s as well. Now, as we move into the mountain range, we're going to see those temperatures cool down just a little bit, with Vail getting into the low 40s, Telluride into the high 30s, but then we see it warm up in Grand Junction about 63 degrees. Now we're going to be seeing that warmer weather tomorrow in Fort Collins, especially 60 degrees, and it's going to cool down in the evening as well. Now, throughout the state, we're going to be feeling those winds come in too. We're going to be feeling those winds in Colorado especially. Throughout the week, we're going to be seeing that so much. But in Fort Collins, it is going to be quite chilly in the evening. But during the day, we're going to see it warm up, and we're going to see partly cloudy conditions. The sun will be shining. But in the morning, we're going to be seeing it mostly cloudy. And then in the afternoon, those clouds will give way to more partly cloudy conditions, which will push into the evening as well to cloudy conditions. Now we're going to see a very low chance of rain with that, but we're going to be seeing higher winds coming in from the north and northwest, anywhere between 15 and 25 miles an hour. And the sunset will be setting about 7:25 in the evening tomorrow. Now, as for the rest of the week, we are going to see it warm up, especially on Saturday, getting up to 67 degrees. And then it's going to cool down a bit, but mostly going to be in the high 50s moving on into the following week. And in the evenings, we're going to see it cool down as well into the low 30s. And Saturday, getting into the low 40s. Now, we're also going to be seeing that wind that I was mentioning earlier coming in again on Friday, 10 to 25 miles an hour, and then throughout Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, anywhere between 5 to 10 miles an hour, with Sunday peaking up to 15 miles an hour. Now, on Tuesday, we're going to see more wind, anything ranging between 10 to 30 miles an hour. Now, Rams, that's all I have for weather for you guys this evening, but stay tuned because there's more news after this.
So there you are, shuffling through a stack of resumes, and you come to mine. This is it. First impression. My way in. But, here's the thing. Can my resume show you how I truly stand out? Can one piece of paper really tell you my whole story? Like, that I was studying, going to night school while working 2 jobs just to help my parents pay for groceries. Or how anytime there was an opportunity, I was the first one to step up. Because I wasn't gonna let my life, my circumstances dictate who I was gonna become. And all of that determination, the commitment, the drive, that's me. And that's something you just can't put on paper. Look beyond the resume and discover new ways to develop great talent, like me.
Welcome back from the break, Rams.
When hearing the term sports, activities like football and soccer may come to mind. But what about timber sports? It's a sport few have heard of, and others question if it is a sport at all. But CSU's logging team is determined to make their mark.
People hear about it, they're like, oh, really? That's really cool. I didn't know that CSU had a team.
Joey Long, a senior at the university, has been surrounded by logging all his life.
I grew up in the green industry. My mom and dad have owned a landscape company for 20 plus years. I was kind of raised for this, I guess you could say.
The taxing physical demand of the sport means members must be dedicated.
My dad grew up on farms and ranches and chopping wood, chopping firewood. When I was explaining to him what I'm doing here, he laughs at me and says, "You're out there doing that for fun?" I'm working for free pretty much, so it's taught me to love the work more. I never want to leave a practice or a competition and think, I wish I would have worked harder.
COVID chipped away at many aspects of the college experience. This is no different for the team who just had their first competition since 2019.
It was really a first for almost everybody on all the teams.
Excitement and nerves were evident even over the roar of the chainsaws. Participants like Joey thrilled to showcase their hard work.
There's not any bad loggers, you know. If you're coming out here and working, then you're a good logger in my eyes.
After a successful first competition, the logging team has their eyes set on Western Regional Nationals later this month in Missoula, Montana.
A 2015 emissions scandal may just have had a happy ending. 2 battery-powered transport buses were just delivered to Fort Collins. The funding came from a settlement with a Volkswagen after an alleged fraud on emissions test. The buses are now worth over $1 million. A trial run will occur later this month as the city tests out the vehicles. Before they officially hit the road, Colorado Representative and U.S. Congressman Joe Neguse visited the new buses this month. He and local leaders discussed how they will impact the city and the importance of electric energy sources. It is predicted the buses will be in public service later this spring.
With COVID starting to cool down a bit, students in the music department have a way to celebrate. Live reporter Gavin Wolf joins us from the Visual Arts Building to share more. Gavin?
Thanks, guys. I'm here at the University Center for the Arts, where an event last weekend gave trumpet players a special opportunity.
In the quiet hours of the morning, an exciting event is taking place for trumpet students.
The first year I got here, right away I did a trumpet day. Then we had a virtual one last year, and so this is the second face-to-face one.
The 3rd annual CSU Trumpet Day is a place for students to finally get back to playing face-to-face.
My first full year at CSU was mostly online. I had a few in-person classes, but studio was one that was fully online. And it is very nice to play trumpet with real people, real time.
This event provides the trumpet community with a place to learn and play together, something many people have been looking forward to since the start of the pandemic.
Well, trumpet is actually its own thing, and it has lots of tradition. Seeing people who are young getting excited about trumpet is exciting for me.
Participants are able to interact with local vendors, attend learning sessions, and play the songs they learn in a concert at the end of the event.
music isn't the same over a computer screen. And I think as a teacher especially, just being able to connect with students and being able to connect with colleagues face to face, it's so much better.
Life might not look the same as it used to, but it's encouraging to see events like these starting up again. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Gavin. Music is not the only form of creative expression making headways right now.
Abby McPhail joins us live in the studio with more on how dance is stepping into the spotlight. Abby?
Thanks, guys. There are many events that happen at the Laurie Student Center, but this week the Hip Hop Dance Club hosted one of the largest dance expos here in Fort Collins.
Over the weekend, Vision Dance Expo, a hip-hop competition, took place at the Laurie Student Center Theater.
This event is all about art in different forms. So we have these dancers coming in using the background they know about hip-hop culture to express their own culture and themselves, their identity. And then we also included CSU art students' work that is projected on the screen behind everybody. And then we have the music piece of it. DJs use music as a form of expression of themselves.
I'm here with my wife, who is B-Girl Emerge. She's one of the judges today. What drew me to this event was just to see what's happening out here in Fort Collins. I know the hip hop scene is growing, and we see a lot of dope people here today.
This competition drew in people of all ages from all across Colorado, including multiple dance crews that came in and performed.
I feel like the main thing that hip hop means, at least to me, is community and family. Because I would consider my fellow dancers like my family here. Hip hop also happens to be an acronym, so it means higher inner peace, helping other people. So that also has a specific meaning of just also community and being kind to your neighbor, that type of saying.
Hip hop means to me it's about culture, it's about freedom, being able to express yourself, and it's about the connections and the love.
Hip hop is a form of expression that I really connect with. I love hip hop music, love hip hop dance, so it's just a way of life, really.
Seeing all these dancers come from as far as Pueblo to perform at CSU was amazing. So much fun to see what Fort Collins hip hop community looks like and all that they do to create a welcoming environment. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Abby. Well, Rams, that is all the news we have for you tonight.
But don't go anywhere. Leah Kukowski joins us next to give us an overview on yesterday's pro day. Stay tuned.
Queen is just my everything. Right now, I wouldn't know where my life would be without her.
They say chivalry's dead. It's not. Terrence is a gentleman. He opens doors. His smile did it. His smile, his eyes, his knowledge. My landlord, he decided that he wanted me to move based on the fact that I was transgender. It takes me to a place of no hope. It takes me to a place of loneliness. It saddens me. When you discriminate against somebody in housing, where do these people go? Let's just respect people in everyday life for just being human.
How's it going, Rams? My name is Leah Kukowski, back once again as your Thursday night sports anchor, and I can't wait to talk about yesterday's pro day with CSU football, so let's jump right into it. So, like I just mentioned, CSU's football pro day went down yesterday morning, which consisted of 12 former Rams that just finished up their careers here on campus, and they went through workouts that mirror the drills done at NFL Combine. Looking to impress the whopping 27 representatives from different pro squads in attendance, and of course, show enough to potentially hear their name called in this year's draft. The guys competed in tasks like the bench press, vertical jump, and 40-yard dash to really try and show off their athletic traits. Not to mention individual workouts to let their talent evaluators know what they're best at in their respective positions. So, after all of that background info, let's take a look at some of the most memorable marks throughout the day. For one, Scott Patchman absolutely crushed it with his bench press, going for a total of 29 reps of 225 pounds, which is more than any D lineman at the NFL combined last month. Oh, and star punter Ryan Stonehouse also had a great day, with his most impressive performance coming in at a 70-yard punt against the wind. Oh, and of course, how can I forget about John Mackey Award Trey McBride? All eyes were on him from the start, but like he always does, he showed up and showed out when the spotlight was the brightest, putting in an impressive 40-yard dash time of 4.52 to all but solidify his status as a #1 tight end in this year's draft. What an absolute performance from the big man. All of us football fans here on campus had the pleasure of being able to see Trey's diverse set of skills every single Saturday. And wow, a recent answer in a press conference really makes you glad that he's a CSU Ram for life. Let's take a look.
I knew coming back here I'd bring a lot of attention to my teammates, and that's what I want to do. I want to give those guys a shot. I want to do everything I can to help those guys. So if that's coming here and working out, bringing in some scouts and stuff for those guys, I just want to get as many eyes as we can. I want to see this program grow. I want to see guys play in the NFL. So getting as many eyes on those guys as I can is what I wanted to do, and just support and be there for them.
So on that note from number 85, and with all of this pre-draft action being mostly over, now I'm just super excited to see where all of our former players end up come in the end of April. And who knows, maybe we could even see a few in Broncos uniform come sometime. We'll just have to wait and see. And moving on, that is all, Rams, that is all the time that we have for you tonight. Please make sure to tune in to Monday for another edition of Monday Night Sports. Have a wonderful weekend, stay safe, and we'll see you then.